We live, we live. What's good, Chloe? What's good, Steve West? My man Kev Butts joining in. What's good, aka Kev that dude? Thank you for joining. We're gonna give some people some more time to join in. Good luck though. What's up? What's up? Savon Scales, aka DJ Savage. Thank you for joining in. One of my consistent guests. Appreciate you joining. We're gonna start the show in a second. I got one of my guests here, Miss Samara Brown.
Hi.
Just found out she's a cousin. I'll explain a little bit later, but everybody say what's up. Thank you for
Gang,
joining.
gang.
Yup. What's up, Angel? Thank you for joining. Know why she's joining. She's trying to see about the zodiac signs, and we're going to be talking bad about Scorpios. You know anything about Scorpios?
That's not my favorite sign.
Not your favorite
No,
sign?
I'm just joking. My kids are Scorpios.
Oh, her kids are Scorpios. All right. My man Jerry Wardlow, thank you for tuning in to Non-Biased Live from the Batcave, a.k.a. Bugatti Red. Y'all check him out in the comments. What's up? Alaska. You in Alaska, Michaela? The food is good? Nah, it's too cold for me.
Hey,
Germany.
That money is good in Alaska.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for military. That
Yeah.
oil money.
Nah, you
gotta
can
get
keep
that oil money.
I hear you. Okay.
I know people that go back once a year just to get that oil money.
My dad was actually stationed in Shemya, Alaska. I don't even know if they still got that. Shemya?
That just sounds depressing.
I think it was like Anyway, Alaska, nah. I don't do cold locations. Which I'm gonna ask y'all a quick question while we're waiting for my other guests to join live.
She said, yes, ma'am.
Hey, what y'all prefer? Y'all rather prefer a colder climate or a warmer climate? So a lot of people I've asked this question to, they usually say they rather prefer a colder climate because they hate being hot. So which one do you prefer?
I don't know. You know what? I think I need a place that has like all four seasons. Because if it's
Okay.
too cold, I mean, cold weather is nice for when you can dress. You can wear nice boots and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know when people can dress in the cold. You know that?
I'm good. But see,
No,
if you
because-
can't dress, all you got to do is wear a wife beater and some shorts.
But
you know,
that's,
some
I'm
boxers.
telling you, if you want to know people's style, put them in the cold weather.
So if you ain't got no style, you like me, you prefer the hot weather.
Just stay in the heat.
To me personally, I think it's easier to. I'll say it's easier and funner to cool down than to have to warm up. When I'm cold, I feel like I can't get warm enough.
Really?
But when I'm hot, you can get in the pool, have you some ice cream, But like I don't know, when I'm cold, maybe I got low iron or whatever. I need some milk or whatever. But
Some milk.
yeah,
Cookies.
some milk, some bananas, something. Kev Butts from Long Beach Island. Okay, from Long Beach in Cali, so warm. Shout out to my man Dino, my big bro from Jersey. Thank you for watching. I'll be over to bust you behind the Madden shortly. So you stay tuned. Make sure you look up some cheats before I come over there.
He said you stay tuned.
That's right. If you're joining now, thank you for joining. This is the show Non-Biased, live from the Batcave, my weekly podcast where I talk about different topics from sports, entertainment, gossip, you name it. I have special guests. Like I have one here with me right now, Miss Samara Brown, who I just found out is actually a relative of mine. I found that out a couple weekends ago.
Crazy.
I'll get into that a little bit later on. And I also have another guest joining me in a second. He's running a little late, but he's going to be joining in live. So I'm glad y'all tuned in. Please stay on because we're going to talk about a lot of good things, from zodiac signs to Nipsey Hussle to Dr. Sebi to conspiracy theories, you name it. And I want to hear what y'all say. And I also got a couple of people I want to shout out and plug in there, man, because remember, this is y'all platform to get exposure. All right, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna let my guests choose some music while we're waiting for our other guests. What's some good music to put on?
So have you heard of The Code?
The Code, oh gosh, is it country?
Not really. Do I look like I would like country? I like real mellow music, but
okay. What's The Code by?
All right, listen to Moments so it's The Code. The song is called Moments. Okay. I don't know. I think it's a good vibe, low key.
The Code.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So this is not my song.
This is his song.
Making a discretion right now, making a disclaimer.
Stop, it's his song.
My guest recommended this song called The Code.
He asked me behind closed doors, like,
The Code? What's it called? The Code
right
by
there,
who?
The Code, upstairs, right there.
Okay.
And then Moments.
All right, so it's The Code called Moments. I'm going to play this song. If it's whack, then y'all put the thumbs down emoji. If it's dope, put 100 emoji, all right?
It's different.
All right, we'll see. There we go. Let me see. Oh no, it's starting. I'll give it.
I gotta put you on. I'll tell you, just let go and say that you want me. You take your music, man. I can read your signals, body language trails. He said ain't heard it yet. Oh, hater. That's my
What'd you say? You said, who is that? Joey?
He's a nobody.
He said he ain't heard it yet. Joey,
He's a hater.
So she recommended this song, Joey. So usually I don't do this, but since she cut, my cousin, I'm gonna let her. So the Moments by The Code. We can see the light when we're alone. Okay. So we got a couple people dropping hundreds in the comments. That's that love making music. Okay, shout out to my man.
It's some good vibing music.
You know what? I think my speaker.
You can have a good drink.
Okay.
I mean, if you're not in the military,
Okay.
Some other.
Right. I feel you. Yeah.
It's chill. It's chill. I feel like music has changed so much. You know what I mean?
I talked about that in my first episode. So how has it changed to you? How has music changed?
I mean, like, think about.
Change from what? Change from when?
Everything.
I'm about to get her to show her age. Change from when? When has music changed? Since the Temptations?
I'm the nerve of you. The Temptations. I'm only 18, so.
In doggy years.
No, I feel like it's changed. Like, there used to be a time where, it was all about, like, relationships, connections. And nowadays, music is just about finding the next best thing. And
yeah, it's just straight to the point. Like, let's, back then, they used to.
So I miss that side of music that's like, that makes you appreciate the relationship. Now It's just about, like, okay, if you ain't got what I need, I'm on to the next. And people actually are taking pride in, like, infidelity and stuff. So
absolutely, yeah, you're absolutely right. So, like,
but who am I to judge?
I'm not going to speak on that. Show's called Non-Biased. Anywho, got a couple people joining as well to Non-Biased. We got Miss Katie Rebecca Wiesman. I don't know if that's a friend of mine or yours, but she said great song nonetheless. We got my man Aaron Hines from Jersey. Another one, my brother in Jersey. We got Miss Lisa Barr. Thank you for joining in the Non-Biased. That's right. We're giving my other guests a couple more minutes to join the show, but we're going to be talking about astrology, Nipsey Hussle, Dr. CB, and more. And I have a special guest with me right now, Miss Samara Moore. So while we're waiting, I actually tell y'all a little quick story or whatever. So pretty much, we're in Germany or whatever, military. I stepped out to meet up with a couple of friends, and I met her through a mutual friend. And, we got one of her booze. Yeah, shout out to Jasmine Brown, late getting on or whatever. But I met her or whatever. And, good vibes. She was kind of annoying, kind of talked a lot, whatever, but I'm just joking. But needless to say, the next day, she added me on Facebook, and she saw a mutual friend of mine, Jalen Johnson. Shout out to Jalen Johnson if you're on there. Yep. So that's actually my cousin, Jalen Johnson, by way of Ohio. I don't know, is that where she lives?
No.
I got too many cousins. Anyway, she's like, how you know Jalen?
Black people got so many cousins.
Yeah, for real. So I just found out you mine. So she was like, how you know Jalen? Talking about our mutual friend. I was like, oh, that's my cousin, whatever. She was like, that's my half-sister. She said it like, that's my half-sister. I'm like, what? We cousins. So small world.
Small world.
Technology makes it that much smaller. Found out we cousins in over 2 weekends. So this is my first time actually getting to kick it with her, and I've been privileged and honored to have her as a guest.
Aww.
And she'll be talking about some astrology and some healthy habits as well, because in a little bit of time that I got to know her, she was telling me about zodiac signs, and she said she knew a little about this and that. Shout out to Miss O'Lee joining. Speaking of which, while she's online, I'm going to do a couple of shout outs while we're waiting for my other guest. Can you message Mr. Greg and see where he's at?
Yes.
Get ready. So, if you are in the Germany/K-Town, Wiesbaden, Mannheim area, that's right. For all those of you in Germany, if you come into Germany in the next few weeks, I got some events going on for you. Upscale Uptown will be hosting they'll be having party buses go out to the Music Vibes Tour April 12th. That's right, April 12th, there'll be a bunch of guests. I'm talking about Tory Lanez, Nicki Minaj, Flavor Flav. I think that's gonna be one of the guests. Flavor Flav, P Diddy.
Like Flavor Flav?
Yeah, I'm just joking. I ran on the name. There's gonna be a bunch of artists at the Music Vibes April 12th, and Upscale Uptown will be providing a party bus, as well as April 19th. They're doing the Anything is Possible. Anything. That's right. Henny. Anything. So you know what they'll probably be drinking. Vodka. Anyway. It's like, nah, I'm just joking. The next event we got going on is also BOA. Shout out to Mary Sunshine and Kenny Edwards. They will be doing a Meeting of the Souls April 19th. So at the Martaw Club, where you meet your little booth thing or whatever, you get turned on Fridays. They actually have it where they turn into like almost like a poetry corner or almost like a platform where singers, dancers, rappers can get up there and showcase their talents. That will be taking place April 19th as well. Yes, I know I'm silly. Miss Kandu. Still got to get a pronunciation key for that last name. And then also, BOA also has a podcast that comes on every Sunday called Talk That Shh. SHHHH. It's an acronym. I don't know what it all stands for. And last but not least, they will also be having Fetty Wap here in town in Germany at Wiesbaden at Europe House. You know where that's at? Yep. Me and my artist just tore that down. Shout out to Angela Love. At Europe House, Fetty Wap will be here April 26th, and there will be party buses from several different locations, from Mannheim to K-Town. My man that's in the comments right now, Mr. Jerry Warlow, a.k.a. Bugatti Red. Bugatti Red. He actually is an artist. Y'all check him out. Look him out in the comments. He'll have a party bus going to that, as well as in Cologne, the Ebony Club party. The Ebony Club. That sounds like some Players Club, Bernie Mac. You got to tell me what that be about. Trying to do something strange for some change and make him holler for $1.
Hey.
And also, he'll be having a bus go out to the Red Madness. Like I said, for those of you back in the States, man, they got a great idea going on. This thing called the Red Madness, where they have a party. Pretty much you show up, you pay a little bit extra, and you get unlimited drinks. They give you a little plastic red Solo cup, and you can fill up, turn up, and it's a great idea. He'll have a party bus going out there April 12th, and also a party bus on April 26th. Also, I have one more guest I want to shout out who's still in the comments, Mr. C.J. Kendricks, all the way from Long Island, New York. That's right, from Long Island. He has his own clothing brand. That's right, his own clothing brand called Lunar TKO. LUNARTKO.com. Go to that website. It's got the best street apparel that you can get for affordable prices. He even hooked me up with a little, something, whatever. So y'all check it out.
Why are you not wearing it?
Because it has to come in the mail, and the way my P.O. box is set up.
Okay.
Yeah, it takes a minute to get here. Anyway, what did Mr. Greg say about joining?
He has not. But I say we give him like 2 more minutes.
We'll give him 2 more minutes. So while we're doing that, you know what we can do? We can play a little game to entertain our guests, or whatever. We're gonna play a game called Would You Rather.
Oh, I'm good at this game.
Okay, all right. So while I'm looking up some new questions, Mr. Rashad King said, "What's up? What's good? What's good?"
Hi.
Oh, no problem, CJ. So, all right, while I'm looking up some questions or whatever, this is one question that I asked some of my viewers a couple weeks ago. Would you rather wake up tomorrow and be 18 years old, or would you rather be 80 years old with $80 million? Now, the catch is, if you wake up at 18, you don't have the same knowledge you have now at the age of 38, 39.
Y'all gotta stop playing me about my age.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Okay.
Okay, I see Mr. Greg is joined. But yeah, so answer the question while he's getting ready to join the feed. So the question I asked, and this is for y'all as well. If you had the choice, would you rather wake up tomorrow and be 18 or 80 years old with $80 million? So you tell me which one would you choose and why?
Well, I would probably pick being 18 again.
18 again, why? Remember I said you don't know what you know now.
Wait, you said you do.
I said you don't.
Oh,
see?
okay.
They
no.
don't listen. What's your sign? We're going to get into that. Don't listen.
Okay, no, I would be 80 years old.
80 years old.
Yeah.
With 80 million. Why?
Because I mean, one, I'm already, I look young and fine, so I'm gonna assume I'm gonna still be fine at 80. But if I'm not, I'll get plastic surgery with the 80 million and make myself look fine.
Okay, all right.
I'll make some of y'all my grandsons,
Okay, that's what's up. So interesting. That's right. Emilio in the comments said 18. Miss Angel said 18. While y'all watching, I want y'all to comment why. So she said 80 with 80 million. I actually said that as well. A lot of people actually chose 18. Remember.
He said he can't seem to join, so I think you have to go in.
Okay, let me
Hold
see.
on, Greg.
Okay. Remember, you don't know what you know now. Let me see.
I don't want to go through that.
Don't laugh at me. I'm trying
I don't want to go through that again.
How do I?
Scroll down to his name.
Okay.
Hit the comments. Yep. And then where you see his name, Greg is watching.
It just says wave. How do I add? Dang, we showing our age. Come on, Greg.
You should be able to hit.
Yeah,
join
Greg.
Live.
Greg, just hit join live.
Request it.
Yo, somebody show us how to do it. We looking old. How do you join live?
What about that add button?
Kev, how you do it?
Look at the button with the little photo at the bottom.
This one?
No, next to that one. And then find.
Oh, okay. I think I found out how to do it.
Yeah, it took a young one to do it.
Hold on, wait. It's saying that. It's saying I can't. Your viewers. Tell them to.
Oh no.
Allow your viewers to request join as you. What is he watching from, an Android or a payphone? It's not giving me the option to do it. What are you on your laptop, Greg? Let me see. Let's try it one more time. Because it's not giving me the add option for him. Yeah, tell him to try it from his cell phone. Yeah, while we're waiting for him to join. Hey, sorry, Emilio, I'm gonna have to put you on hold or whatever. I gotta wait till my man Greg joins us first. Let me see. I don't know why it's. We're gonna listen to some music while we're trying to figure it out. Let me see.
Down to sleep, now let me down to sleep. I pray to Lord, I saw the key. Long life, man, I got the key. Pull up, make all niggas bleed.
Look what he said.
I got one like overseas. So how about it, NBA?
Yep. So now you should be able to hit accept. Yep.
Hey, Adam, hey.
What's good?
What up?
Wakanda forever. Man, where you at?
man. You tripping? No, I'm not. I'm I'm in the living room right now, man.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I give you as a thing.
All right.
All right.
So all
So all my viewers,
if you
if you can hear all three of the good,
or let me
know if it's
Hold on, I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
No, I was
no, I was talking to viewers.
I want to know.
I want to know if they hear, but
Okay.
Angel said it sounds weird. The person.
Try
Try
muting
muting
down your.
like.
Let's see.
Let's see.
All right. What about that? That sound a little bit better? What about now?
What about now?
Yeah, it's good.
Hey, if you can
hear me twice, I'm important.
I can hear you.
All
All right, well, so why don't we just why do you on my phone?
If you
If you FaceTime,
we're gonna
put the phone. Yeah.
Or he'll
call me.
Yeah, we can do that. Someone has feet.
It's Greg.
It's Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg, man,
you have the laptop. Use your phone.
I'm on my phone.
Use your phone.
I'm on my phone.
Okay.
Okay. All right. For FaceTime.
Call you on FaceTime?
Yep.
All right.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, about the technical difficulty. We get into it. But like I said, it's well worth it to have him on the show.
That should be good now.
All right. Hold on, you can see the glare. Hold on real quick. Let me see. You can't see him. Okay.
It's his glare.
All
Okay,
right.
good.
Say something, Greg.
Can you guys hear him?
Can you guys hear him? Drop 100 if you can hear Greg. Keep talking, Greg. Say something in English. Your volume all the way. Okay, all right. Mac, my man Mac said yes. All right, so.
Hey, hold on. No, go ahead. Do your thing.
Okay, all right, so.
I need your phone though now.
You need my phone? For what?
So I can move this stuff over here.
Okay, all right. All right, so now we're going to continue with the show. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Like I said, thank you for joining in live to Non-Bias, live from the Batcave or whatever. Today we got a couple of special guests. One of them is doing a little FaceTime. She says too quiet though. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring it a little bit
closer.
Yeah,
different edition of the Batcave.
We're gonna get the Batcave up and personal.
Hey.
All right.
Somebody just had to go on vacation, but you know.
All right, so you hold the phone up. Here. All right, you ready? Where's he at? All right, so I have Mr. Greg. We're gonna do it the bootleg way. Let me see. Why are you so shiny? Take some of that Vaseline off your forehead. Let me see. We gotta sit down over here.
Okay.
Grab my my cup and my vape, because this is a good conversation, and my notepad. I need all that. Why are you so bright? Okay, that's a little bit better. So you gotta hold it just a little bit. No, hold that phone. There we go. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, does that work? Can y'all hear him? Say something, Greg. Can y'all hear him? Shout out, drop 100 if you can hear it better. I done lost all my guests. They didn't have technical difficulties. This is why they have commercials, man. This is why they got.
It's all good. Improvising.
Yep, improvising. So let me see if I can see. All right. Well, anyway, he said a little bit. All right. We'll make sure. I'll repeat whatever he said. So I got Miss Samara Brown. I know he's too dark. You can't see him.
It's gonna be hard to please both ears and eyes. So
got Miss Samara Brown and Mr. Greggy Bolivar live from Africa. All right. So I'm just joking. But pretty much today we're gonna be covering a couple of good topics, man. The first one we'll be talking about is zodiac signs. Zodiac signs. So talking to both of y'all now. So pretty much growing up, in a Christian household back in, the early 2000s or whatever, I never really heard of zodiac signs a whole lot.
That was witchcraft.
Exactly. If you had superstitious, parents or whatnot, they pretty much, if the only time I saw anything pertaining to zodiac signs was like in the newspaper, horoscope ads and stuff like that. So I pretty much stayed away from it. But as,
Were you scared?
I mean, no, I just didn't look at it. I didn't know what it was. I just saw something like, this is what today's horoscope was. I didn't know what it was. As today's time, began to, progress, whatever, I started hearing more about, oh, what's your sign? When's your birthday or whatever? But the first time it actually caught my attention is one of my exes, whatever. She sent me an article with both of our zodiac signs. So my birthday is March 5th. So I guess that makes me what a Pisces, right? Pisces. Drop 100 to all the Pisces in the comment. And she's a Gemini.
Who's a Gemini?
My ex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're really good friends or whatever. Really good friends. And pretty much, we were going through some things, whatever. But the article, it said so much stuff to where I was like, that could be like it was describing some of my personality traits and some of her personality traits to a T. I was like, this is crazy, whatever. And so pretty much that kind of intrigued me, caught my interest, started looking more into it or whatever. And, I got some questions, as far as astrology, and I got a couple of guests that are a little more informed than me. So, we'll start with Mr. Greg. So tell me, what are all the zodiac signs to begin with? Like, as far as birthdays?
Want me to hold it?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's see. Can you guys see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Yep, still look ugly. No filter.
I hate you, man. As far as all the zodiac signs, I have to say that, well, as far as what Miss Samara wanted me to start off with is Virgo, right? Virgos.
I did not say that's what you had to start off with, but okay.
So what's the birth? So go through all the signs first. Like, tell me, for the people that don't know anything about the signs, like what are each sign? Like, and y'all can split it up. Like, far as the born in the month of January, what sign is that?
Born in the month of January, you can be a Capricorn.
Okay.
Well, it starts off January 20th until February 18th. Is Aquarius, right? So I think let me go back. So Aquarius starts January 20th until February 18th. And Pisces starts February 19th until March 20th. And
Aries,
I believe. Yeah, Aries starts March 21st until April 19th. And Taurus is April 20th until May 20th. Gemini is May 21st until June 20th.
Mm-hmm.
And then roll over into Cancer June 21st until July 22nd. And Leo, which is my sign, starting July 23rd until August 22nd. And then you have Virgo. Virgos are August 23rd until September 22nd. Libras are September 23rd until October 22nd, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And then Scorpios.
His ex. Yeah, Scorpios.
We have Scorpios. The worst of the worst. I'm kidding. But they do start October 23rd until November 21st. And then Sagittarius starts November 22nd until December 21st. And then last but not least, we have Capricorns. They start off December 22nd until January 19th.
Okay, all right, cool. So we got all the zodiac signs. So between the both of y'all, I want y'all to tell me a little bit about each sign, like the personality traits, the strengths and the weaknesses. So I'll start with you, Samara. Whatever zodiac sign you want to start with. Let's start with
Aries.
Aries. Okay, what can you tell me about Aries?
So Aries are, I mean, I don't deal with women, so I'll talk about Aries men.
Okay, so we'll have to defer to Greg in a minute.
So Aries men can be very alluring, I guess would be the right word. You're really drawn to them. They have a nice drive about them. They are very driven. They're very motivated, but they can be very impatient. And that's their biggest downfall, is how impatient they are. I know for me personally, as a Virgo, Aries is not a match for me. If I hear you're an Aries, got to go.
Okay. I want y'all to remember what she just said. If she hears that it's an Aries, she's a no-go. Because one of my pet peeves is generalizing people. So the whole reason why we're on the topic of zodiac signs is because I'm going to draw it all in and I'm going to conclude with a good closing statement. But anyway, keep going. What's some other signs you know about?
Geminis, they're the double sign. How many Geminis we got on the call today?
Drop 100 if you're a Gemini.
Geminis can be tricky because I don't think you can necessarily categorize them one way or the other. They have that split personality, and I'm not saying y'all are crazy, but I'm just saying there's two sides to Geminis. So they can be very easygoing or very laid back, or they can be very outgoing and adventurous. So I think it just really depends on the personality as far as how and what you bring out of them. Because I'm a firm believer that I believe that we bring people's different sides out. So that's just my take on it as far as it. I mean, I'm married to a Gemini, so.
Okay, all right. So what about you? Greg? Name some other signs. What's some signs you know about?
Some of the signs I know about. I know a little bit about everything pretty much.
What about my sign, a Pisces? Tell me about Pisces.
Oh man, okay. Well, with Pisces, you guys seem to be a little bit dreamy, right? And able to immerse yourself into others, right? So tend to have good energy, positive energy. It seems to be like, for example, you guys are a healing quality for others, right? So by others being in your presence, I believe that it can benefit you for, I mean, of course, good and bad, actually, I would say. And also, with Pisces, I have to say that they need to take time for themselves, right?
Yes.
In order for them to replenish, their energy levels and get straight, in their head what they want versus what others are wanting from them.
Pisces definitely love their alone time.
And then, one other thing I can add into that is that you guys are very interested into art, anything that's creative, and you guys are pretty much a little bit of psychic, I guess you can say. You guys are like psychics.
Okay, so what are some weaknesses? What are some weaknesses?
Some weaknesses of Pisces. You don't want to get them mad.
That is true.
You do not want to get Pisces mad because they're nice all around.
No, but they will cut you off, right? They will cut you off real quick.
Not just cut you off. I I can say that they will apologize the next day, but sometimes it's hard for them to control their actions in that moment while they heated or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like I want to chop your head off. You know what I mean? Type of thing, right? But at the end of the day, they don't mean to, cause harm or anything of that nature. So that's why it does happen that later on in life, or later on in the day or whatever, they may apologize to you. But yeah, you definitely don't want to get them mad because you're probably not gonna like the character that you,
Okay, all right. So I'm looking at the comments. Hey, Emilio, I can't put you on the screen right now, but I got you later on, dog. But anyway, some of the other signs that we got in the comments, I got Virgo, I got Scorpio, and Leo. So Virgo, Scorpio, Leo. Tell me about some of those signs.
For Virgos.
Virgo gang, whoop whoop.
Yeah, Samara, you're probably gonna like this one. But you guys are precise.
Yes.
You guys are very precise and quick thinking and intelligent as well too. So it is said that if, for example, a guy does not match your intellectual level, then you guys tend to not be interested.
That's true.
So therefore, it may cause cause some issues, right? Because not everybody's gonna be intelligent or anything like that.
He said causing issues. I'm offended. Oh man.
What about Leo?
Leo's the best sign ever.
No.
That is true. It is true.
Leos cannot take any criticism.
That's not true.
She just said Leos can't take no criticism. He was like, that's not true.
That was so Leo-ish of you.
Well, go ahead, Samara. I'll let you handle this one.
No, I want to hear what you got to say about yourself first, because that would only be the most Leo thing to do, is to talk about yourself.
You know something about Leos too?
I mean, some of my friends are Leos. You know what I'm saying? And those have been they're very loyal, but they are loyal to themselves before anybody else. Am I wrong?
And they always late.
They always late. Yes, but they never admit
He's a Leo. He was late to the show.
Why are we not surprised?
Is that the middle finger? Or is it...
No, Leos. So Leos are good. I would say overall, they are a very strong sign. They have a strong personality. They have a very strong sign. They're a very strong sign. But I think Leos, it takes them a while to be able to recognize that they're wrong. And that is a Leo's biggest downfall, that until they master that art of being wrong. But y'all hate being wrong. Like, that's just, and that is why Leos in friendship can sometimes clash with a Virgo, because as Virgos, we like to point out what you guys suck at because we're perfectionists and we want to fix everybody. And Leo cannot take the criticism of a Virgo. Look at his face!
Okay,
Look
well,
at his face!
so to move on with time, we'll come back because I got a couple of other good questions about this topic. So tell me about Scorpios real quick, because we know that's a really popular song. What about Scorpios?
Oh, I can go for days about Scorpios. Scorpios. Well, you wanna take this one, Samara, first, or you want me to go?
No, go ahead. I'm gonna go get the charger.
Okay.
Well, Scorpios are pretty much detectives of zodiac signs. I mean, of all the zodiac signs, right? They are pretty much detectives. If the FBI could have been big enough to handle all Scorpios, I think they can form their own little army. You know what I mean? And just call it the Scorpio, whatever. You know what I mean? So,
well, all right. Start. So obviously, my special guest is speaking from some experiences with the Scorpio. And drop 100 in the comments, or drop whatever your zodiac sign is. I'm gonna respond to those of y'all watching. I appreciate y'all joining in. But he's talking off of experiences, so let's be fair. Name out some positives and negatives.
No, absolutely. I would pretty much name some positive of Scorpios. I mean, definitely you cannot judge them based off just the worst, what they do or whatever. But Scorpios, I would say that although they can be detectives, right? But they can hold, and you can also expect deep and meaningful conversations from them, right? So therefore, whenever they want to know about all your secrets, that's one thing. They want to know about your secrets, and they won't stop until they do. You know what I mean? So they can be, like, that's why I said they can be a little bit detective. They will go around, look for stuff, things that you may be hiding from them. They are loyal, that's for sure. They are loyal, emotionally deep, and sexy as hell. I have to add that. So if someone can handle all of these threats about the Scorpio, then you pretty much consider yourself a winner. It can be a little bit crazy at times, but if you are a mysterious person, then pretty much you can get well with them. I think that Virgos and Aquarius and Capricorns, are a great match for a Scorpio.
Okay. So, hey, what I want you to do me real quick.
So I have to add that Scorpios don't easily forgive, and they don't forget either. So,
and they keep a lot in.
Oh yeah, they can hold a grudge for years.
And because they're natural introverts. A lot of Scorpios are natural introverts.
Okay. Hey, Greg, do me a favor. Try to join live again. Try to join live again. I'm gonna turn my Bluetooth speaker off. And I think that maybe that'll cancel out the feedback. While you're doing that, I'm gonna ask Samara some questions, okay? So try to join again, and I'm gonna add you, and we'll see if it has the same problem, okay? Because I want to ask you some more questions. All right. So while he's joining, Samara, you can come back up here. We're gonna try to get back situated with the show now that we got some people joining. Shout out to Miss Jasmine. She said,
"Hi, babe."
"Oh gosh."
She said, "What is that at your house? I don't see you here. I don't."
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. So if you're joining live to my show, Non-Biased, live in the Batcave, I appreciate y'all so much. First of all, I have a couple of special guests with me. One here physically, Miss Samara Brown, great nutritionalist, and very, very wise when it comes to zodiac signs. That's the topic we're on right now, is astrology. So drop whatever zodiac sign you're in, talking about the fascinations, some of the compatibilities, the strengths and weaknesses, and what the whole big deal is with it. And then, so you're gonna tell him he's saying your name wrong? I'm saying it right. Samara. Shut up, Jasmine. Muffy. But then we're also going to get into some more deeper conversation. So I'm letting my man Greg join. Let's see if we cancel this out. Boom.
Let's see if this works.
Let's see if this works, Greg. Let me see. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Still
feedback.
We'll try to rock with this.
I'll just take my conversation to a limit.
If they hear me twice,
I got
a good voice.
Huh?
So my question to you, have you ever met somebody that didn't fit
into the zodiac description?
So like they were Pisces,
but did they not act? I would say for the most you find people that don't.
They're teetering.
They're teetering at the time. Like we have people that are.
It's still doing it twice.
We're going to have to go back to the ghetto way.
So go and call me.
FaceTime again, man.
Oh, hold on, wait.
Jerry said use a headset.
Use a headset. Okay.
Or mute the phone.
See,
that's what I like.
I got people that's in the comments helping. I like that.
Because I did. This is the end. You don't want to see this happen because he's about to get in some good topics.
I think that fixed it.
Oh,
all right.
Yes.
Oh, shout out to my man Rick. Hey, shout out to my man Richard Anthony and my man Jerry for fixing a problem right on live. This is the whole purpose of my show, is networking. Just like that, they just made. Look at that. You know what? Let me go ahead and put some music on real quick.
Yes.
We're gonna take a little break. So the song I'm actually about to play is from my homeboy in the comments. His name is Richard Anthony, aka Ricky, my homeboy from New Jersey. And when I say this man is a genius with a whole bunch of stuff, anything that was popular back in the day, from and one mixtapes to drawing to rapping, he was into it. And currently, right now, he has a podcast called UTI. It's not what you think. It's not urinary tract infection. It's called Under the Influence. And that's right. He has a live podcast where he has a panel of judges. A panel of hosts that talk about different subjects, just like how we're talking, except under the influence. So he actually is also an artist. He goes by the name of Jersey's Fame. So I'm going to play a little bit of his music while we kind of get ourselves situated. And we're going to properly re-engage with this topic of astrology, Nipsey Hussle, and Dr. Sebi. So this song that I'm about to play right here is called Aha by Mr. Jersey's Fave. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it and drop 100 in it. Oh, gosh. Hold on real quick. Boy, I tell you, I can't get right, man. Hold on real quick. Bluetooth ready. Connect. Greg, you doing all right now?
Yeah, I'm straight, man.
Okay, all right. Boom, boom. So drop y'all zodiac signs in the comments. Whatever y'all do, if y'all are singers, dancers, actors, entrepreneurs, make sure y'all drop that while we getting this song all queued up. Boom. So this right here is called Aha by my man Jersey Fave. Jersey.
I'm in some shit, that's why I don't stand too close to it. I give it 10 feet, something like a fire hydrant. Now I see why these hoes attached to me. Because I got drugs and they need some company. And bad bitches just want cocaine. And broke bitches just want to smoke, man.
Hey, so shout out to my man, Richard Anthony, a.k.a. Pretty Ricky is what I call him. Pretty Ricky, what they call him.
Pretty Ricky.
Also known as Jersey's Fave. That's right. That was his song, Aha. Can be found on, actually, it's an exclusive track he just sent me, so I feel special. I got a lot of people reaching out and hooking me up with connects. So I appreciate the help with the IT, as well as you too, Jerry. So now that we got the audio feedback knocked out, like I said, this show right here has got some really good subjects, so I want to properly do it the right way. So like I said, I have two guests with me. We're talking about astrology right now, so I've asked them some of the different signs. What are some of the different personality traits, the strengths and weaknesses? So one of the questions I want to ask you too is like, what signs go good with others? So we talked about like the different signs. So like, for example, somebody drop a zodiac sign in the comments, and I'm gonna ask my guest right here, but we'll come up one off the spot. So what sign goes good with a Scorpio? What goes good with a Scorpio?
Nothing. No, I'm just joking.
Dang, Scorpios don't get no love. Drop 100 if you mess with Scorpios. All right, Greg. What sign goes good with Scorpios?
It would take someone
what sign goes good with Scorpios? Like another compatibility.
I would say Capricorn, Pisces, Aries, and I would put Virgo in there.
Okay. All right. What sign goes good with a Virgo?
All of them. No,
apparently not.
Aries.
Apparently not.
Ain't
nobody talking to you, Jasmine. No, hold on real quick. What sign goes good with a Gemini? I must know. And for our beautiful miss in the comment, she just had a procedure done where she's a full woman now. Miss Jasmine Brown. What sign goes good with a Gemini?
Gemini will be Aries, Aquarius, Sagittarius, and Leos.
Okay. All right. So what about you? What some signs you know go good together?
Virgo and Pisces go good together.
Virgo and Pisces? Okay.
Actually, they do, because Virgos, we like to live on the edge. We're very spontaneous, and we're like wild, sometimes, I guess, wild spirits. But we are also very, we're perfectionists. And so I think Pisces kind of calm down that need for everything to be perfection. Yeah. Because of the simple fact that, like, you know, you guys are very mellow, and you have,
I'm not
mellow in confrontation, for an example.
Oh, okay.
You don't like to argue.
Don't like to argue. Mm-hmm.
You kind of, you know, command that respect. Like, hey, I'm not going to argue with you, but we can talk about it. And Virgo needs that. Virgo definitely cannot be with somebody that wants to fuel that fire, so to say.
So, Greg, that brings me to another point. So, everybody watching, I'm about to drop some knowledge on y'all right now. Did you know that you have a secondary sign? So, my guest in the little small picture-in-picture, he actually educated me that people have a secondary sign they didn't know that they have. So, for example, I'm a Pisces. I was born on March 5th. But I was born at 11 in the morning. So what is a secondary sign, Greg, and how do you determine that?
Pretty much a secondary sign can help you determine some of the characteristics that you may not think you possess, right? So, for example, someone who's a Virgo, like Samara, for example, you know, she's a quick thinker, she's intelligent and all this and this and that. Now, some of the, you know...
I'm fine.
No, but some of the, you know, of the characteristics that she may possess outside of that, she may be unaware of, right? So now, if you look into the time you were born, right, the time in the year, those two things play into what is called the rising sun, right? Okay. So it's pretty much a way to determine what was aligned, how the sun was aligned, which
Oh
Jasmine,
wait,
I swear, I don't care.
Jerry said my secondary sign is yo, hey, that make it yo, chill out. Oh man, okay, all right. So, all right. So, for example, she was Virgo, but she was born what 1967, 1967, three. Say no, 1988.
88.
What time?
19,
So
9:39.
9:30. Are you able to, or do you have to look it up, or do you know what her secondary sign is?
He already did the research.
No, her secondary sign is, I already did the research on her. She's a Taurus. Her secondary sign is a Taurus.
Oh, that's my daughter. My daughter's a Taurus. Okay.
Tell me about myself.
Yeah, Taurus.
What's a Taurus?
Look at me. Tell me about myself.
It can be stubborn, possessive, and resistant to change. That's a Taurus. Those are the characteristics of a Taurus. Look at her; she's sliding to the left. But while some may see them as lazy, I think in their eyes they see it as relaxation. It's them resting or whatever case. It's like, okay, well, this is my relaxed time. This is not me being lazy. I'm just relaxing. You know what I mean? So, but definitely possessive. Stubborn, and unable to change.
Okay. All right. So my last question.
Oh, they don't like changes. So, for example,
try to fix that in a minute.
PCSing may not be your best thing to do.
You said what might not
You
be
probably
your best
don't.
thing?
Like, she probably doesn't like PCSing. Like, changing, duty stations or whatever, moving for work. You may not like that, and that's, those are one of the things that.
I don't like change. Change is not my strong.
See, I'm telling you. So they don't like changes, So
okay, all right. So
so
we've covered some good topics as far as the foundations of astrology and zodiac signs. For those of you watching non-biased, I got two special guests with me right now. We're talking about astrology, the different personality traits and strengths and weaknesses. But now I want to ask you, so why do you think astrology is so big? And do you think, like, does it tie into spirituality, religion, like with all the fads and why people are intrigued by it? Like, it brings a different type of, self-awareness, whatever. Because like, oh, snap, that's neat to learn about myself. Do you feel that astrology in some way, shape, or form or another ties into spirituality, religion, or some way to bring people closer to a higher power?
I mean, I grew up believing that astrology was witchcraft.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was
why? Did you get a reason for that?
I was just told it was from the devil.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was like a no-go. Like, you are not allowed to be reading the zodiac signs and things like that.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
But I think as I got older, I became intrigued by how accurate it was. Because for me personally, it really described a lot of my traits. And I was just like, it felt like it made sense. It's like going to the doctors and finally getting a diagnosis. You're like, see,
that's true.
I'm not weird. It's all of us that are like that.
What's the cliche saying? They said the first step is admitting that you have a problem. So pretty much with self-awareness, recognizing blind spots, when you actually know a little bit about yourself, you're able to, how to interact or react to different situations. So, that's why I'm asking that question. So what do you think, Greg? Like, as far as, astrology and the zodiac signs and horoscopes, do you feel like it gives people some type of awareness or enlightenment to where, they, I don't know, they can possibly grow or progress?
Don't pay Jasmine no money.
I know, I'm not. She's crazy. I picked her up. She's a Gemini, so that says it all.
That's that other side.
Exactly.
It's bipolar.
Yeah. So what you think about that, Greg? You think astrology in some way, shape, or form? Because I don't know. Do you know anything about the history of astrology? Like, how did it come to be? I know it has something to do with stars and alignments and stuff like that.
Well, I think astrology is pretty much it's a study of of the influence that, I guess you can say, that distant, like, cosmic objects, like, usually stars, planets, or even human lives, right? So I think you can say that astrology is pretty much a way, just like she said, is like going to the doctor and finding out what's wrong with you, what are the symptoms that you're feeling or whatever. It's pretty much a second way of knowing, okay, well, this is who I am outside of what, you know, what I was raised in, right? You know, your parents probably raised you this way to be this and that person. But, you know, if you're looking at some of the characteristics, you're like, okay, well, I don't think I fit in those, you know, barriers they're trying to put me in, right? So I need to step away from that and learn more about myself. And I think astrology, about learning about your zodiac sign, can help you determine or even define, you know, how you approach success, right? And how you approach, you know, finding your next relationship.
Yeah.
So let me. So
Or even,
We've talked about
so that brings me to another point. So for those of you joining, thank you again. We're talking about astrology and zodiac signs. So my last question, as we sum this up and get ready to transition to another topic, is all right. So she said something earlier that caught my attention, and this is why my pet peeve with zodiac sign astrology. She said, if I meet an Aries man, I'm running. And Greg, I know your history and experience with Scorpio. You're like, if I meet a Scorpio, I'm running the other direction. So with that being said, being that some of these zodiac signs and horoscopes describe so many of us to a T, to where it's almost like accurate, do you feel like that's the best way to judge or analyze somebody? Like, as far as like put somebody in the group, like, oh, you know, he's a Pisces or he's a Scorpio, she's a Libra, she's a Cancer, I'm staying away from that person. Or do you feel like people can be outside the box and be different?
I feel like it's very rare that they're outside the box.
Really?
So I will say there's always the exception to the rule. There are people that they're not 100% a Scorpio or 100% a Libra. But that's a very small percentage. That's just my experience. Usually I can tell when I meet somebody, or even friendship-wise, there are certain signs that are just not for me because they clash against my personality or traits about me that are a typical Virgo trait. You know, like that's just my experience. But I mean, I think it's no different than if you meet certain people and you're like, they're into cats, for example.
Like, I know I don't want to.
Nah, I don't want to deal with a cat person, you know, because cat people have different tendencies than dog people. So that's how I look at zodiac signs.
So you tell me your answer, Greg, and then I'm gonna put the icing on the cake and show you why the show is called Non-Bias and why I love people in general. So you tell me what your analysis is on. Do you believe that people are, you know, confined to their zodiac signs?
Well, me personally, I don't tend to judge someone based on their zodiac signs before I get to know them, right? So I tend to go the extra mile and give them the benefit of the doubt, you know, just learning about themselves, you know, about them, and admiring them for who they are as an individual, right? So, but you know, like I said, it's also great for you to get to know what this person's zodiac sign might be, so you can better know how to approach them, right? So just like, I don't know if you ever did this test called the 4 lenses.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're in the Air Force, you can
right.
get it.
So pretty much, right? So pretty much, if you go through an ALS or whatever, you have to do the 4 lenses test or whatever. And those are the things that they go with. You know, the color blue match perfectly fine with green, right? Or all the other colors, because, you know, we are emotional, we are sensitive and all that.
Well,
yellow
not to cut you off. So does
right?
green match with green? The reason why I asked that is because Max just asked, are similar signs compatible together? So what you describing, like how certain the compatibility, that's one question we didn't ask. Do like Pisces and Pisces go together, Leos and Leos, or is it always completely opposite?
Certain signs, but not all.
Well, certain, I mean, I would say probably most of them are compatible, except for 3 of them I can name that, you know, they will always be bumping heads, right? So Virgo is 1, Leo is 2, and Scorpio is 3.
Okay.
So these 3, doesn't matter what exactly they do, because Scorpios, like I said, they are detectives. So you can imagine, as a man or a woman, right, they're going through each other's phone or trying to find clues. Oh, this piece of hair is not mine, you know what I mean? Or this or this or that. Like, it's always gonna be an issue. It's always gonna be a problem. They're always gonna be bumping heads. That doesn't mean that they cannot be great life partners, but they just have to set aside the differences, you know, and and work together, to achieve whatever goal they may have. Right, Leo's same exact way. Right, they can be a little bit possessive and what others may consider as far as always giving commands or whatever. But it's just like I said, you just have to set aside, your differences or, whatever we have in common. Be like, okay, well, this is our goal. This is what we're focusing on. And let's work together to achieve this and achieve that.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, so pretty much I'm in agreement with you as well. Like, so we're talking about astrology. If you join in, ask a bunch of questions to the different types of astrology. Which ones are compatible, the strengths, the weaknesses, personality traits. And last question I asked was, do you believe that the people are confined, and generalized to their zodiac signs, or do you judge them based off of that, or give them chances? So Greg, he had one answer. He said he doesn't judge people based off of that. Miss Samara says that it's a no bueno if you were Aries or what?
No, mainly Aries.
Mainly Aries.
Capricorns,
Aries,
they're
Capricorn.
a little too narcissistic for me too.
So as for me, the show is called Non-Biased or Unbiased, however you want to throw it. So pretty much, how people say I hate people, well, I actually love people. So I give people a chance no matter what. So the zodiac sign thing, like anytime you're aware or educated about something like this, is difficult because you have to kind of draw the line, because so much of it is intriguing to where it's like, now I know, and now it's like, okay, I know what doesn't go good with me or whatever, but I still have to make that decision on myself, by myself, to not judge somebody. Same thing with color, race, religion, denomination, not judging people based off of, judging a book by its cover. So that actually is going to lead me into my next subject. Dum dum dum. Nipsey Hussle. So, for those of you watching, we are now talking about Nipsey Hussle. If you didn't know, man, we lost a good one, man. Nipsey Hussle is an American. He was an American professional rapper, raised in L.A. He was recently killed, tragic death at the age of 33, in front of one of his stores, one of his places where he's from. And, social media's been blowing up about different reasons, whatever, but a lot of people are talking about his death, conspiracy theories. But before we get into that, I want to highlight a little bit about his life, man, because I think that sometimes, especially in today's generation, we overlook people's, accomplishments, and we focus on death, or whatever. Like, oh, somebody died this way. But, for those of you who didn't know, the reason why, the community is so sad and distraught is because he's done numerous things, man, like from, he
opening up the STEM
projects. He opened up what?
Those STEM projects, for the science and all that stuff for kids in the hood.
Yep, yeah. He partnered with Puma to renovate an elementary school, rebuild playgrounds. He opened up a shared working space called Vector 90, pretty much to allow young talent to get exposure. And he did numerous things back in his hood. So for those you may know, who know on the outside surface, he's a rapper, he's associated with the gang or whatever. So a lot of people may be looking at his death like, it came with the territory or whatever. He got caught up, this and the third. But the reason why I'm going into depth about the man is because obviously you can't judge a book by its cover, and he's done a lot of positive things for the culture and for people from where he came from. And one of the big things about his death, that's been causing a controversy and a stir is the timing and how he died. So I want to ask y'all, about, what are y'all thoughts? Because for those of you watching and don't really know about Nipsey Hussle, like I said, he's a rapper. He was actually about to do a documentary, correct me if I'm wrong. Documentary, tomato. Documentary on Dr. Sebi, a guy named Dr. Sebi. You got to tell me what the real name is so people can Google it.
Sebi.
No, but his government name is like Alfredo or I said Alfredo. It's like Alfredo Brown.
You hungry?
I like Alfredo. Ask Dino. Ask Angel. But anyway, he was covering a holistic doctor named Dr. Sebi, and he was going to do a documentary pretty much about him or whatever. So I want to ask you y'all thoughts on Nipsey Hussle, how he died, and then we're going to go into Dr. Sebi as well. So what do you know about Nipsey Hussle?
I mean, I know he was Lauren London's man.
Just
so typical.
Some tie with a female. I can't have him because that's somebody else's man. Anyway.
Whatever.
Okay.
No, so I mean, I'm not gonna front. I really didn't listen to his music. I'm not.
At least you keep it real, because some
I'm
people
just being
don't.
honest.
They just start bumping his music as soon as he died.
Yep.
People love you after you die instead of when you hear.
I knew about him because a good friend of mine kind of went through some things, and he told me back then, like, yeah, I listened to him and helped me get through some dark times. So, I mean, that's the most I knew about him. I honestly heard the most when all this stuff happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that I was kind of shocked at how quickly people jumped on the conspiracy theory. Because I'm not saying it was one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
My personal opinion is they haven't even given the family enough time to mourn the loss of their husband, their father, their son. And people will jump on anything to get, attention. And so this whole thing exploded about this conspiracy theory. And I mean, me personally, I don't know what to believe. So I'm open to any type of knowledge on it. But it makes me sad that we've gotten to this point where, like you said, people obsess over the death more than they do about the life. And it takes away from what he wanted to do for, the world.
Exactly. So what you think? About Nipsey or whatever, and Dr. Sebi? So do you know anything about Dr. Sebi?
I knew about his diet and how he felt like food was the cure to a lot of things, which I'm a big advocate for. So I definitely agree with that.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead and tell them about. Why don't you enlighten them about Dr. Sebi real quick? Because I know that's from your Haitian Jamaican roots.
Got to get more fruit in.
Yeah, got to get more fruit in. So, tell the people that are watching a little bit about Dr. Sebi, Mr. Greg.
Well, Dr. Sebi, in my opinion, I would have to say, was a genius, right? And the way that I define that is because, going through nursing schools and, learning about, chemistry, learning about biochemistry as well too, and anatomy and stuff like that, you get to know a little bit more about what he was talking about, right? So when he mentioned that disease, there's only one disease, and that's mucus, right? Mm-hmm. I could definitely relate to that because disease finds its genesis when the mucous membrane, right, has been compromised. Mm-hmm. So that's how you can define what a disease is, right? So for example, if there is mucus on the bronchial tubes, right, we call that bronchitis, like you have bronchitis, right? If you do have it in the lungs, then we call that pneumonia, right? And also if you find it in the pancreatic duct, then we call that diabetes. So, and also even if you have it in the joints, then it's arthritis.
Wow. Right? So mucus.
Yeah.
That's funny because when I looked him up, that's exactly what he said. He said mucus. He said that was the
mucus. Yes.
It really came up. I might got a little disease myself, but he said mucus was the key. But keep going though.
Yeah. So therefore, I think that with him, enlightening people as far as knowing what type of diseases are out there. Okay, well, there's no such thing as far as HIV. There's such thing as cancer. I can cure them all if you follow this footsteps, right? Mm-hmm. So yes, they exist, but there's a cure to them, right? Mm-hmm. And he was there to, he fought a case. Matter of fact, I don't know if you were aware of that in 1985.
Yep, 1985.
Or 87, in 1985. I believe he went into, New York courts, court and fought a case where
they were claiming that he
accused that he was practicing without a license, and also claiming that he was curing patients with AIDS, with cancer, blindness, and all this, all sorts of diseases out there. And the judge actually asked him to bring just about one patient of every disease that he claimed he can cure. And he happened to bring 77 of them, right? So he was able to win that case. And, it's not something that a lot of people know about. But if you go back, there's something that, even close family members of his, have proof of. And the New York Times also have proof of that he cured those people and also beat the case, right? So to me, his death came as didn't really come as a surprise because he was, I think, in my opinion, he was expected, right? It's just like Malcolm X, it's just like Martin Luther King. They were fighting for something good. So we know that for a fact that death was on the horizon, right? So with him knowing that, that's why he spent most of his time in Honduras, the country he was actually born in, and not the States. Although he operates and sell his products in the States, but he lived in Honduras most of his time because he knew that they were, you know, they were gonna come for him.
So yeah,
And
so pretty much
exactly
those of you
that.
watching, not sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Those of you watching, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining in live to Non-Bias. Shout out to Miss Annette Brogdon, my mother-in-law. Shout out to Marcel, Emilio again. We're talking about Nipsey Hussle, the tragic death, the timing of it, and Dr. Sebi. Some have speculated the reason why he was killed, possibly the gang violence, possibly to him getting ready to do a documentary on Dr. Sebi. And right now, we're talking about Dr. Sebi. So for those of you who didn't know, he's a holistic doctor, which those who need some education, pretty much means he's a doctor that uses natural herbs, spices, to pretty much get you right. Mm-hmm. As opposed to going through the pharmaceutical companies, using medicines and stuff like that. He found a way to cure every major disease, from AIDS, sickle cell, diabetes, blindness, paralysis. He even got took to court by the Attorney General in New York, 1985, the Supreme Court, where he fought and won. And I watched a couple of segments when he was back alive. He got interviewed about some of this. What's funny is he was never put on mainstream. Me and Greg talked about this. Oprah never interviewed him. He was never put on NBC, Dateline. This is a black man that said not just said, but proved. Alfred Bowman, a.k.a. Dr. Sebi, that said he could prove every disease known to man without the use of pharmaceuticals or whatever. And one of the segments I was watching, he was getting interviewed, and Dr. Sebi said to the guy, he said to the host, he was like, when I cured my 13th AIDS patient, my 13th, he said, my mom told me they're going to get you.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, he looked at his mom, he said, what you mean? And she said, anytime you're a black man going against the grain, they're going to come get you. You got to think about what type of society we're living in and what type of philosophy they believe in. Mm-hmm. So pretty much to sum that up, he's taking money away from companies that produce medicine. So if you're taking away a need and a demand, if keep it real, if y'all knew, for those of y'all who know somebody that has a sickness, a family member, drop 100 in the comments. If you knew somebody, that was sick and dying and they could be healed with a matter of herbs and spices or a natural treatment, as opposed to going through, countless procedures and stuff like that, would you not take that route? So we know the answer to that question. That's a rhetorical question. It's obvious. But the question is, why wouldn't the government want that to be okay?
I mean, because sick patients is money. I mean, that's facts.
Nipsey Hussle even said it.
Yeah,
he said people, I think, and somebody said it. What costs money? He said, you make money from sick people, not curenesses. You make money from sickness, not cureness.
That's 100% true. I mean, think about, everybody wants to look at healthcare as, it's a place to go to get better. Healthcare is a business. There's no questions about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The more patients you have, the richer doctors are. I mean, think about even when you compare healthcare systems in countries like Europe or Canada versus the United States of America. Mm-hmm. You could never get away with charging the prices that American doctors do in any other country. Why? Because it's a business. And it's unfortunate. I mean, it's all about what your name says about you, what weight it holds. I mean, a doctor, think about plastic surgeons, right? You could go get your breasts done in
Keep talking.
You could go get them done in North Carolina and only pay maybe $4,000. Those are nice. Or you can say, I'm going to go to Beverly Hills and get the same shit and pay almost $10,000 for it. Why? Because there's a doctor known in Beverly Hills. It's a business. And it's the same thing with, when you go to doctors because you don't feel well. How many times do you get the runaround before they figure out what's wrong with you? Is it that they're really stupid and they don't know what's wrong with you? Or is it that it's a moneymaker? Because every code they put in the system, which are known in the healthcare system as ICD-10 codes, is
knowledge,
money. Mm-hmm. So every time you get diagnosed with something, that's a bill. that's money that the insurance company can collect.
Like taking your car to find out what's wrong with it. They about to charge you for that diagnostic.
Yeah.
That's why when I take my car to get an oil change, that's all I want is an oil change. Don't tell me my brakes ain't working. I know that.
The gas light's on.
Yeah, don't tell me that. I don't want none of that fixed. I know it ain't working.
But I think that's a good thing to talk about, right? Is health in the Black community.
Right.
Let's talk about that, right? Because there is not enough knowledge out there in the Black community in regards to health.
So speaking of which, let's bring it to another topic. You actually have something going on yourself, don't you have?
Oh yeah, business? I have a health business.
Called a health business called what?
Arbonne. Whoop whoop.
How do you spell it for those of you who are illiterate?
Arbonne.
We'll drop it in the comments with a link later on. So What is Arbonne?
So it is basically a company that teaches people to live a healthy lifestyle. So when you think about diets, what's the first thing you think about?
Like as far as like the purpose, like losing weight, eating healthier?
Okay, but when you hear the word diet, is it something that attracts you to the word, or is it something that you're like, nah, I'm good?
Yeah, I mean, realistically,
not really. He loves
because I know it requires time, consistency, and eating stuff I don't want to do, so it's kind of discouraging.
Okay, so what if you had the chance, right, for somebody to teach you that, hey, you can still eat, chicken Alfredo.
Okay.
That he likes Alfredo, right? So you can still eat chicken Alfredo, but you tweak it a little bit by taking out foods that are known to cause cancer, diabetes, exactly what Dr. Steva talked about a lot.
But that's all the good stuff.
Not really.
Pig feet, hog maws.
See, this is the problem in the Black community, why we deal with so many diseases.
I'm getting hungry right now.
This is terrible.
Shout out. Drop 100 in the comments if you like soul food. And you ain't going on no diet for nobody. It's like, nah, I'm just joking.
That's just wrong. I mean, the whole thing is, right, at the end of the day, there is a better way to live. And that's the problem that we have in the Black community is we don't want to let go of that greasy food because, it's soul food. But it's like, how do you feel when it's your grandmother that's in the hospital dying from diabetes?
I'm going to bring her a takeout plate.
I'm done. You see, this is, no.
I'm going to be like, Nana, when you going to be back for Sunday? It's like, no, I'm just joking. What are your thoughts, Greg? What you think about, like, the whole eating healthy habits, the cause of what Dr. Sebi was trying to fulfill? And another question I want to ask you, so while you answer that, is why do you think it's such a big deal to not want to help people live longer? Like, let's say let's just speculate the conspiracy theory was true and they killed him for helping people get cured. Why wouldn't they want people cured, do you believe? Like,
well, I have to say that doctors are not here to cure you, right? They work for the pharmaceutical companies, right? So therefore, whenever you go to the doctor,
say that one more time.
For anything.
Say that one more time.
No, I said that doctors are not here to cure you, right? They work for the pharmaceutical companies, right? So therefore, whenever you go to the doctor, for example, the military, hospitals, right? For example, whenever you go to the clinic, right? What happens? You go to the clinic, they test for whatever disease or whatever thing you may have that's wrong with you, and they refer you to the pharmacy. And whenever you go to the pharmacy, what exactly do you pick up? You pick up something that's called ibuprofen, which is the only thing that military doctors are known for to give you, right? So, of course, they want to see you every month. Yeah, Motrin and Percocet, right? So they want to see you every month at the pharmacy with prescriptions. And there's a reason for that. It's because they make money, off of that. Every time they get to see you, someone is getting billed. Right. So just like Dr. Sebi said, is that they're not here for your best interest. They're here so therefore you can live, shorter. That's for damn sure. Nowadays the generation, the population of the United States are not living past 70. Right. So you look at the margin, not too many people are living past 70, and there's a reason for that. Right. And that's what Dr. Sebi was trying to do, is to enlighten people on what they should eat to live longer, to have to have a healthy lifestyle, to cure any sort of disease that they may encounter, like snoring, for example. Snoring is caused by mucus as well. So if he was able to treat your cells and not replace your cells, that's what a lot of these pills that you get from the pharmacy, what they do is that they're trying to eliminate your cells, but not cleaning your cells, right? So there's a huge difference. So if you eliminate, like for example, chemotherapy is the worst thing that you could do to a cancer patient. because it's eliminating cells that you need from your body.
That you
You know
need.
what I mean? And not cleaning
Drop
them.
100 in the comments.
Right?
That's some real fact.
Fuck cancer.
You know.
You talking about the zodiac sign?
You know, so they're not. So they're not really cleaning those cells that you desperately need for your body and able to survive, right? So they are just pretty much just getting rid of them. So that's why you become weak and get weaker and weaker and weaker until you can't anymore. You feel like giving up or whatever, So with the alkaline diet that Dr. Sebi was promoting, it's pretty much more fruits, right? So it's more fruits into your diet, more
what is alkaline?
vegetables.
I thought alkaline was AA batteries because I've heard that before. I've heard alkaline water. What is alkaline again? What is alkaline diet? Why is it so good?
Because you're balancing your pH level.
What is alkaline?
Yeah.
What is alkaline?
Alkaline is pretty much just. Go ahead. I'll let you get into that one.
No, neither one of y'all know. Y'all just want to Google it.
No.
Alkaline, double A's. I thought it was a double A battery.
No. I had to move the phone because my bad. So pretty much an alkaline is pretty much the amount of pH, right? That's into your normal body, I guess you can say, right? It's the level of pH. For example, I don't know if you know the difference between different waters, right? So you see spring water, you see aqua water. All these waters have a different pH level, right? And it is said that tap water might be better for you than drinking what we normally buy at the store. You know what I mean?
So what's the best water to drink for people that's watching? What's the best water they can drink? If they can do one healthy thing, what's the best water they can drink?
Vattel is really good here in Germany.
Nutella, that's chocolate.
I said Vattel. Really? You are really trying me to. You're hungry.
Yeah,
You're hungry.
Vattel?
Volvic water is really good.
Okay. What about the people in America?
Look at the waters that have the pH numbers on them. So you should be at least aiming for 8.0 and higher, honestly.
Yeah, and higher. Yeah.
I mean that water is the thing that we need. It breaks food down. It breaks down the bad things in our body.
What about fire water?
Nah, see, you part of the problem. This is terrible. You are like part of the culture problem. But water, you need to pay attention to your pH levels in your water. It blows my mind that people don't pay attention to that. Like, completely blows my mind.
Water, yeah. My mom and dad used to make me drink 8 glasses of water before I could have any Kool-Aid.
But was it tap? I'm just joking.
It was filtered. Come on, man. Trying to play me like, no, we had the filter, we had the signy.
Tap water isn't bad either.
If I was outside, I had to drink from the hose, though. Is that bad?
Because tap water isn't bad at all.
I can't ask stuff like that because I'm looking for approved source when we look at water.
I mean, I think spring water is not a bad way to start. But Essentia, that's something they don't sell. They don't sell over here in Europe or whatever. But Essentia has the highest pH.
Yeah,
whenever it comes to it's 9.5 pH. So I think, in my opinion, that would be the best water to start off with. As well as if you are interested in doing the alkaline diet or anything of that nature, Essentia is the best way to start. But you can't find it over here in Europe, so you're gonna have to subsidize that for probably spring water or whatever.
The thing is, in Europe, because of their standards with even how they handle food and not allowing pesticides and things like that, you really don't have to worry about stuff like that. And that's the thing. It's like, I mean, think about in the States, you pay so much money for good water. That's crazy,
Is Fiji water good? Because that joint be costing like $4 a bottle.
It is good water.
No, it's not.
But it is lower than the one he just mentioned.
Yeah, it is lower than Essentia, but for the price of it, though, it's best for you to get Essentia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
Essentia is
but there are other ways. Yeah.
Okay.
9.5 sticks out hard.
So, man, we about to get ready to wrap up the show, man. I know we've had y'all a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I appreciate y'all joining to 9 Bites Live from the Batcave. We've covered numerous topics from zodiac astrology, personal traits, characteristics, strengths, weaknesses, as well as the tragic death of Nipsey Hussle, but also the positive things that he did in the community, as well as Dr. Sebi as well. We're going to be touching on a lot more sensitive subjects, such as religion, more conspiracy theories, and ideology. Better. Hold on real quick. Somebody help me.
I'm not your girl.
Ideology.
I'm a perfectionist. I refuse to look stupid on live.
Anyway, Jasmine talking about time.
That's a Virgo.
Girl, if you don't add some more minutes to that Verizon prepaid phone. Anyway, thank you for joining. Thank you to my guests, Mr. Bar Brown and Mr. Greggy Bolivar. That's right. You can look them up in the comments. They're also going to drop their information for their website. Greg is also a motivational speaker. I don't know if you heard it in his voice, but he's very, very positive guy and a very good friend of mine. She's kind of positive, but she also knows a lot about nutrition, is health. So look her up as well. Thank you so much again to all my viewers, to all my fans, everybody watching. I appreciate y'all so much. That's been 9 Buys live from the back game. Here, we out. All right, Greg, I'll holler at you later, player.